Welcome to another episode of Into the Night Bigfoot Paranormal Talk Radio. Today on this episode, I will be giving you information on what's another phenomena, or what we call another phenomena, from let's just say a different part of town. It's called the kaupe, the Elohi, dogman of the Nuanu. In other words, dogman of Hawaii. One night each month it is said that an eerie white mist appears along the highest peak of the Kualu Mountains. Those who have borne witness to this manifestation say that the mist slowly coalesces into the form of a menacing dog. On those nights, wise travelers avoid crossing through Anuanu to avoid the malicious Alohi dogman who roams the valley. Foreign travelers in the 19th century claim to have seen this phenomena and noted that when the figure appeared, the neighborhood dogs would wail and howl until it disappeared. Kupanu from the area used to say that the apparition is that of the cruel supernatural dog man named Kaupe, who once ruled Nuanu and who continues to haunt the forests and trails to this day. Supernatural dogs have long been part of the native Hawaiian traditional stories on Moliolo. After all dogs traveled with our Polynesian ancestors across the Pacific for thousands of years, in Hawaii, it was long held custom among families to keep dogs for companionship, hunting, and even as a food source. But dogs were also laid to have had special abilities. Some of the old folks said that dogs could see spirits, and that if one were to mix a dog mucus with specific herbs, the concoctions would enable them to see beyond what an ordinary human could see. Many chiefs tattooed their bodies with dog related images. Dogs also acted as guardians and amoku, family spirits. Some of the aku could take the kinulu, body form of a dog, particularly ku and lono, and dog forms and clouds were seen as omens. Due to this connection with the ancestors and our ancestors, Hulu and Haiwo temples dedicated to supernatural dogs do exist. Hawaiian Mo'ilo also speaks of supernatural dogs, sometimes called the dogmen. They were described as being hairless, but their skin was often dark, red, and brindled. Because they were hairless, they were referred to as Alohi on Maui. They were called the Haha Lo people. Supposedly based on their stature, their faces had the visage of a Dipilius dog, but their bodies were human. They were known to have supernatural abilities, including shapeshifting, and therefore were classified as kaupe, demigods. In a little known version of Legend of Kalu, Lono Ki Ahu defeats a dangerous Alohi, Kupa, at Kalo, hurling and smashing his body. The Alohi Kupa became the islet of Muki Ilio, which is an alternative name, an original story for the Mokali Island, wrongly referred to as Chinaman's Hat by most people today. Historian Samuel Kamaka records that the dogman Kope, Koelioloa, came from Kahiki and pierced the Aku Kanaholani at Koala. In some traditions, Kuileola was seen as a manifestation of Ku, while others claim it as a shape-shifting Alohi. In either case, Kalulula was protective of travelers in Wa'anei. According to different Mo'ilolo, the Olohi dog people lived in caves dug from sand hills. Many of this Kalui Alohi or caves where the Alohi once lived were said to be an area known today as Iwa Beach. Some Alohi also lived in Kula Maui. The dog Alohi should not be confused with the class of skilled warriors within the Hawaiian martial art of Lua, so called because they pluck their hair and grease their bodies for combat, although dog Alohi were also known for their wrestling skills. In fact, dog Alohi are from a different genealogy. The Kumalipo records the birth of Alohi as the people of the wagging tails in the fifth Wa. The Komalipo also seem to associate the Alohi with places where spirits roam. Brindled dogs were said to be Alohi or possessed by their power. Brindled and hairless dogs were additionally held in Kapu by the devotees of Pele and known as Ilo Mo'o. A tale from Oahu speaks of an Ilo Mo'o named Pa who was saved from a village feast by a woman with reddish brown hair. That woman was said to have Pele herself. In the 18th century, it's claimed that King Kaheliki of Maui had a division of dog-headed Olohi, which must have been fearsome sight on the battlefield. When Alapi and Nui of Hawaii sent messengers to Maui, they landed and found the Alahi people. The messengers took one look, went back on their canoes, and moved on to Oahu. Near Punahou, there used to be a pit named after Alahi, into which Alahi could disappear, and if they were being pursued by a chief, Martha Beckworth, and her work Hawaiian mythology, records that eyewitnesses, including non Hawaiians, have claimed to have seen dog headed warriors with tails among the spirit ranks of the Hankuopo, or night marchers, marching alongside their other fallen comrades. But in most Moliolo, the Olohi tended to be skilled robbers and tricksters as well as powerful warriors. The most famous of the Alohi was Kaupe. Kaupe grew up in the Lihu Oahu, which was Schofield Barracks is today. He is described in written Mo'oliolo and oral tradition as having the body of a man and the head of a brindled dog, with black and red stripes. In time, he became so powerful that he overthrew the government of Kanuaki Okua and installed himself as high chief in Nuanu. Kaupe was a cruel and evil chief. He terrorized the people of Oahu and Maui, even indulging in cannibalism. Without proving and provocation, Colt plotted to kidnap the son of a chief of Hawaii Island and offer him moai, sacrifice, at an ahu, a decision that would ultimately lead to his own demise. Horrified by the kidnapping, the furious father followed Kope to Ahu to rescue his son. There he consulted with Kahelona, a great kahuni, kikololo, or seer from the Kahiki Hahu in Nu'ana. Today, Kahiki Ahu is in ruins, but at one time it served as the paramount temple on Ahuhua for soothsayers and divination. Kahiki Hahu was built by Minhu, with whom Kahulona had a special friendship. Kahulona taught the father two prayers, one to make Kope fall in a deep sleep, and the second one to defeat Kope. Kahulona gave the chief specific instructions and advised him that in order to work, the prayer to defeat Kope could not be chanted on the island of Oahu. The father gratefully memorized the prayers and then waited for nightfall. As the night grew deep and shadows dark, he began chanting the sleeping prayers as he approached the wall of Kope's compound. Kope soon fell into a trance like sleep. With Kope unconscious, the chief was able to penetrate the compound without opposition, and he quickly found and freed his son. As the pair escaped into the forest, Kope suddenly awakened. Upon realizing what had happened, he raced into the forest, after them intending to hunt them down, but Kope's mind was still clouded by Kaholona's chant. And this allowed the father and son to evade Kope and hide in Manalu Valley until they were able to secure their return to Hawaii Island. Outraged at being tricked, Kope relentlessly pursued the chief and his son across the ocean to their home on Hawaii Island, whereupon a fierce battle ensued. Although they were valiant fighters, the chief's men were no match for Kope. As the weary defenders began to succumb to Kope's superior fighting skills, the chief remembered the chant to defeat Kope that was given to him by Kaholona. In the midst of raging battle, the chief began to chant. His voice rose urgently, piercing the surrounding chaos. And then, as he prayed, the tide of battle shifted. Kope lost his advantage, and his supernatural strength was diminished, allowing the chief and his men to subdue and kill the wicked Dogman. But Kope did not die entirely, because Kope was a kopa. His spirit was able to leave his body before being killed. It flew to Nuanu Valley, where, the story says, he continues to roam the forest to this day. Modern urban legends claim that Kaupe's voice could still be heard, luring unsuspecting hikers and travelers to venture into dangerous areas of the forest. It is said that the voice of this malevolent spirit can imitate an old man or a young child and is accompanied by unusual stillness, which should serve as a warning to the wary. It was also said that he can appear as a mist that slowly creates a shadow figure resembling Kaupe's Elohi dog form. During the construction of new and new Pali tunnels, special protocols were conducted to ward off Kope and other hostile spirits and prevent them from harming the work crews who were building the tunnels. It is perhaps in this vein what Kupone, who traveled to Kohala Mountains through Nuanu Valley in days long past, left numerous petroglyphs on the cliffs and along trails as an offering to land in acknowledgement of supernatural elements that operate in that place that we may not see, but that we may respect. Thank you to Adam Kawi Mandelo. And thank you to Adam Kawi Mandelo Camp for this information. Also, it is said that the voice of a malevolent spirit can imitate an old man or a young child and is accompanied by an unusual stillness, which should serve as a warning to the wary. That kind of goes hand in hand with the Dogman Bigfoot legend, doesn't it? Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed.